10. The name of the center isn't at all just a coincidence. Widely known as one of the world's most mysterious research centers, Area 51 has always been an intriguing place that's simply off-limits to the public. But why is it called like this, right? Why 51, but not 52? Well, the curious name of the U.S. Research Center comes from its map designation after it became the 51st area of the AECNC, the Atomic Energy Commission's Nevada Proving Ground. In fact, it was also where atomic bombs were normally tested. But besides being quite a spooky place, where speculation basically thrives, Area 51's main role is to serve as a testing, grounding zone for America's most distinguished spy planes and other secretive missions. 9. What's with those delayed UFO claims? In spite of the head-scratching balloon crash in 1947, the area didn't exactly gain an extraterrestrial fame until 1980. There was a man, Robert Lazar, who had to make a guest appearance on a TV station where he actually shared that he worked at a super bizarre place called S4 where weird things are believed to have happened. Strangely, though, this S4 site also happened to be near Area 51. Robert didn't also forget to mention that during one of his missions he was supposed to reverse engineer and take care of the crashed flying saucer. 8. No visitors are allowed within the perimeter. Area 51 may be actually marked on the map, but you may not find it that easy. Not only is it a super bizarre site, shrouded in mystery, but it's also a restricted area with heavily armed guys standing guard nearby the fences. Also, the guards there are widely known as the Camo Dudes since that's the uniform they wear when patrolling by the fences and within the perimeter. And when you think of all those powerful warplanes that could be there as well, this level of secrecy isn't really that odd at all. Well, sadly for all those curious minds out there, Area 51 is absolutely off-limits to the public. 7. The moon landing might have been staged at Area 51. As if all those UFO stories weren't enough, many conspiracy theorists still believe that Area 51, this spooky U.S. research center, was where the actual moon landing was staged. On top of all, there was another conspiracy theorist, Bill Kaysing, who shared in his 1974 book, We Never Went to the Moon, America's $30 billion swindle, that NASA astronauts have never really stepped on the moon, let alone explore it and accomplish all of those missions there whatsoever. Also, according to Bill Kaysing, these astronauts rarely made it to space, meaning that the actual moon landing could have happened at this infamous site, known as Area 51. 6. Extended activities at the base. Apparently, there's still some military activity going on at the base even after the so-called U-2 plane program was finally wrapped up. In fact, the secret Area 51 still works as a testing ground for other spy planes, according to the Air Force, so the site doesn't miss a single opportunity to test spy aircraft, such as D-21 Tagboard as well as other planes like the jaw-dropping Lockheed A-12 Oxcart. Also, the NBC News states that Google Earth views show a pretty tiny yet neatly cluster of buildings nearby the site and some of them could really work as evidence of new construction over the past few decades. 5. There was a captured aircraft at Area 51. Although there's still no valid and official evidence that can clearly point to UFO studies within the area, the U.S. might have done some secret testing on Soviet MiG fighters which they secretly collected. According to LiveScience.com and a bunch of declassified files in 2013, this spy aircraft was actually captured during the outbreak of the Cold War. It's believed that the aircraft was most likely overtaken in the late 70s. The strangest part of the story comes with the following operations that were comically dubbed Have Drill, Have Ferry, and probably the most ridiculous, Have Donut. 4. Area 51 was previously known as Dreamland as well. Before the world got so intrigued by the mysterious Area 51, it was hardly even known as such a spooky place where all sorts of freakish things happen. No, that was hardly the case back in the day. But much to our surprise, this curious area that now seems to make everyone run for the hills was dubbed Dreamland. It's ridiculous, we know, but why was it really nicknamed Dreamland? Well, It was supposed to be a quiet place where the workers could do their job without being considered inhuman or anything of the sort. But as we can now see, the name Dreamland just didn't make it. Maybe the Air Force finally realized that it's quite a freakish name for a research center that's seemingly used as a testing ground. 3. Area 51 and its presidential recognition. Although the Air Force has always been trying to keep the world as far away from the site as possible, it seems that even the U.S. president was in critical need to know more basis about this bizarre place. How come the former president of the United States doesn't know such important details, right? Evidently, most of them don't know everything that's going on in their homeland. But unlike most people, who don't even dare to make jokes about this place, some past presidents have mentioned the area in passing, and yet no one is willing to go into detail about it. 2. Area 51 is known to transport its workers from L.A. Evidently, the national security wanted to make sure that the workers at Area 51 wouldn't be able to make it to the base without a roadmap, and it actually came up with a pretty good plan. The workers at Area 51 had to be flown in from Las Vegas, Nevada every single day so they won't remember how they got at the base. After all, they had to find a way to minimize the risk of arousing people's curiosity and suspicion that could be too dangerous for the research center and military base. Therefore, all of the employees working at Area 51 have to be transported from L.A. 1. A paradise in the desert. Back in the heyday, this world-famous Area 51 was one of the most exclusive testing sites where the U-2 was certainly not the only military craft that was tested. Other equally powerful military machines that were tested there were engineered by Kelly Johnson. When it comes to the engineer Kelly Johnson, he came up with this interesting idea to convince the families of the government workers to move out of their homes, and start a new life right in the middle of the desert. However, they'd still be in close proximity to the famed research center. Later on, Kelly even dubbed the place Paradise Ranch in the desert, and it's an actual paradise unless you hate particularly hot summer days that usually hit over 38 degrees Celsius or over 100 degrees Fahrenheit.